Hello, I'm Oliver Colling, and this is the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz. Hello again, and welcome back to the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz. This is our third quiz, and I hope you're enjoying taking part. I know some of you have been very competitive about this, and I think that's great. And thanks to all of you who've given feedback via social media or email. It's still early days for our quiz, and we'd really like to know what works and what you might like to see in future quiz episodes. I haven't got time to mention everybody who reported back your scores, although Lee claims to have scored 16 again. Well done, Lee. That's pretty consistent and really quite impressive. Again, many of you thought the questions were a bit tough and refused to tell me how many you got. Although I was very pleased to give Alan an extra point, as I wasn't entirely clear about the answer to our Silver Jubilee question in the last episode. When I said that all the children at my school were given a Jubilee crown, he, and I'm guessing some other listeners, thought I meant a literal crown. So sorry, I should have been clearer. The crown was a special coin minted for the Jubilee. So, an extra point for Alan. Well done. And anyone else who I misled. It also seems like the theme tune round was a bit tough for some of you, especially the Georgian house theme, which stumped most of you, I think. Well, let's see how we get on with this week's quiz. As always, it's 20 questions. It's just for fun. And please don't be tempted to cheat. Okay, so let's play. Round 1. And at great expense, it's time for us to respin the Wheel of Fate to give us the year for our first lot of questions. So, let's spin the wheel. And we're on 1974. Oh, no, it's just popped out into 1979. So let me pull out the 1979 questions from the question bank. And here we go. Question 1. The Dukes of Hazzard roared onto UK screens in March 1979 with Bo and Luke Duke getting the better of Boss Hogg and Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. But what was the name of their car? What was the name of their car? In July, ITV launched a new science fiction series starring David McCallum and Joanna Lumley. What was it called? Question 3. In the summer of 1979, ITV showed a 13-part drama called The Mallons, based on Catherine Cookson series of novels. What unusual physical feature was inherited by the Mallon men? So what unusual physical feature was inherited by the Mallon men? Question 4. Which cheeky Scouse female comedy broadcast its final episode in January 1979 after 10 years on the BBC? And question 5. Another science fiction one for you. In October and November, ITV showed a 4-part serial, The Quatermass Conclusion. This was the 4th and final Quatermass adaptation shown on UK TV. But who played Professor Bernard Quatermass in this version? How was that for starters? If you got all of those wrong, I suggest you start drinking heavily. Responsibly, of course, at all times, but heavily even so. Okay, so on to our next round, which is the Fil Rouge, so named in honour of when its knockout went on the road to Europe to become Je Sans Frontières. And all the questions are about our podcast and things which are featured in previous episodes. First we have a start of a 10. Oh, sorry, I've got a bit Bamba Gascoigne. Please excuse me. I'll get back to our quiz. Round 2, question 1. In our last episode on It Ain't Half Hot Mum, what was the name of the 1930s song that I remembered vividly from the episode which featured a floating stage on a river? What was the name of the music hall song? Question 2. In our episode Out of Africa, Tarzan and Daktari, we were disappointed to learn that neither of these programmes was actually filmed in Africa. So where was Daktari mainly filmed? What location was Daktari filmed in? Question 3. In one of our early episodes, I revealed an early obsession with the telephone. What TV-inspired phrase did I used to answer the phone with at the age of, I'm guessing, 3 or 4 years old? What phrase did I answer the phone with at the age of 3 or 4 years old? Question 4. When was our first episode released? And I'm looking for a month and a year. When was the first episode of My 70s TV Childhood released? And question 5. In our episode released in February 2021, who were knocking on doors and opening windows? Who were knocking on doors and opening windows in our episode from February 2021? Halfway, 10 down, 10 to go. Are you winning? If so, then you'll love the next round. By popular request, and I mean that most sincerely, we have more music to match with TV shows with our Tom O'Connor inspired round, Name That Tune. Okay, so our first one. And question 2, can you name this one? Question 3, I'm going to play you a short extract of a tune now because the title of the show actually does come into it at some point.
Big John has a problem, as you can plainly see. 1 minute he's 40, the next he's 33. Big John keeps a-changing before your very eyes. He's 25, and then 19, then 12 years old inside.
Bit tricky, that one, I think. Anyway, let's see how you do. And here's number 4 in our Name That Tune round.
1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl and 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told.
I hope most of you got that one. And our 5th and final theme tune is one that I love, which brings back great memories of a fantastic TV show. See if you remember it. Not altogether straightforward, that round, I dare say. But on the bright side, we're on to the last leg, and our final round is our open trivia round, called TV Times. So let's play. Round 4, question 1. In which year were Des O'Connor, Robin Day, and Diana Rigg the guest stars on the Morecambe and Wise Christmas show? Which year were Des O'Connor, Robin Day, and Diana Rigg the guest stars on the Morecambe and Wise Christmas show? Question 2. In 1975, the spoof pop group The Ruttles, created by Eric Idle and Neil Innes, first appeared on which BBC Two comedy show? Question 3. In the Sunday night lorry and haulage drama, and yes, it really was a lorry and haulage drama, The Brothers, what was the name of the family that the brothers were part of? What was the name of the family featured in The Brothers? Question 4. Who comes after Mary and Mungo? So Mary, Mungo, and I hope most of you get this one. And question 5. According to the 1970s advert, which confectionery can you eat between meals without ruining your appetite? Which confectionery can you eat between meals without ruining your appetite? And that's the end of this week's quiz. So while you're checking your answers and trying to remember what that theme tune that's now ringing around your head was actually for, let's take a look at last week's bonus question. I asked you, what had Here Come the Double Deckers, Please Sir, the Georgian House, and reggae band Aswad got in common? And the answer was Brinsley Ford, who was Spring in the Double Deckers, played Wesley in Please Sir, Ungo in the Georgian House, and of course he was a founder member of Aswad. So well done if you got that right. Remember, you can let me have your bonus answer by emailing quiz@my70stvchildhood.com. And you can also let me have any other thoughts on questions, or just tell me how you've done in the quiz. So let's go on to the answers. Round 1, spinning the wheel for 1979. The Dukes of Hazzard's car was the General Lee. Question 2. The new science fiction series starring David McCallum and Joanna Lumley, and I know much beloved of many of our listeners, was Sapphire and Steel. Question 3. What unusual physical feature was inherited by the Mellon men? And I hope none of you have got some rude answers here, because the answer really is the Mellon streak, which was a stripe of white hair across dark-haired head. Question 4. Which cheeky Scouse female comedy broadcast its final episode in January 1979? It was The Liver Birds. And you can sing the theme tune to yourself if you want. I won't join in with that. Question 5. Who played Professor Bernard Quatermass in the 1979 fourth part of Quatermass? And the answer is John Mills. Round 2. Question 1. What was the name of the 1930 song I remembered vividly? It was a song called By a Waterfall. Question 2. Where was Daktari mainly filmed? Well, rather disappointingly, it was filmed in Los Angeles. And all the way through my childhood, I thought it was set in Africa. Never mind. Question 3, and this is a slightly embarrassing one for me. What phrase did I answer the phone with at the age of 3 or 4, much to the horror of my parents, who'd have to run across and grab the phone out of my hand? I used to answer it by saying, "Hello, Trumpton Fire Station. Captain Flack speaking. Yes, right away, right away." Which, for those of you who remember Trumpton, you will certainly recognise that phrase. Who says that TV hasn't got the power to influence children? Question 4. When was our first episode released? Well, our first episode was released in September 2020, which means we are 3 years old this month. Hurrah for that. If you're listening on catch-up, it doesn't make much difference, but at the time of broadcast, we're celebrating our 3rd birthday. And question 5. Who were knocking on doors and opening windows? It was the Sunday Gang. Let's go on to round 3 and name that tune. Tune 1 was the theme tune to Screen Test. Tune 2, I hope nobody got this wrong, it was Banana Splits. Tune 3, this is an interesting one. It was something that some people remember fondly and other people don't remember at all. The series was called Big John, Little John, and it featured a teacher who used to shrink and turn into a small child. Yeah, if you don't remember it, you really have to see it to understand. Theme tune 4 was the theme tune to Magpie, and the fantastic final theme tune was, again, to one of my favourites, The Tomorrow People. On to round 4, TV times. Question 1. In which year were Des O'Connor, Robin Day and Diana Rigg the guest stars on the Morecambe & Wise Christmas show? It was 1975. And similarly in 1975, the spoof pop group The Ruttles first appeared on which BBC Two comedy show? And that was Rutland Weekend Television. Question 3. The Sunday night Laurie and Haulage drama The Brothers, what was the name of the family? They were the Hammond family, the Hammond brothers. Question 4. Who comes after Mary and Mungo? Well, it's Mary, Mungo, and Midge. And question 5. According to the 1970s advert, which confectionery can you eat between meals without ruining your appetite? It is, of course, Milky Way. How did you do? If you got over 15, then you can spend the rest of the day patting yourself on the back. If you got more than 10, then a sort of Roger Moore style lifting of the eyebrow is in order, I think. If you got less than 5, then it might be time to do a bit more homework. But whatever you've managed to score, thanks for playing. I really hope you've enjoyed this week's quiz. Which brings me on to our bonus question. Which child star who appeared in the Oscar-winning film How Green Was My Valley in 1941 went on to star in two of my favourite Saturday tea time shows, Planet of the Apes and The Fantastic Journey? So which child star appeared in the Oscar-winning How Green Was My Valley in 1941, appeared on the Saturday evening shows Planet of the Apes and The Fantastic Journey? I'll leave you to think about that one. If you do know the answer, then email me at quiz@my70stvchildhood.com and we will reveal the answers on our next quiz. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, because that's all for now. So join us again next week for our regular episode, and in a fortnight for our next quiz. Thanks for listening, and please don't forget to like, rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts, and to join us again soon for more from My 70s TV Childhood and the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz.